Hey, you ever have a lead come in? You reply fast, they seem really interested. Then what ends up happening is life happens. Like client stuff happens, team stuff happens, maybe meetings happen, maybe you got to put out a couple fires for the business. And then a few days go by, and then you finally remember, like, oh man, there was a lead I needed to follow up with. And then you shoot them a follow up. And then what happens? Nothing. They're gone. You've effectively been ghosted. So, in this video, I want to break down exactly why you're losing leads long before they disappear on you. And if you stick around to the end, I promise to give you a really cool, well, not really cool, but our exact 14-day nurture sequence that we use right after a lead enters into our world. You can steal it and then you can implement it immediately. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Emmanuel. I am the founder, kind of chief talking head of this cool little part of the internet. I also run a consulting agency specifically designed to help service providers grow and scale their business using systems. Now, I've been doing this for a really long time, well over a decade. I have generated thousands upon thousands upon thousands of leads for clinicians, for fractional CFOs, CMOs, COOs, real estate agents, attorneys, literally all kinds of service industry businesses. Now, having said that, I know that for many of these business owners, lead generation is really the hardest part. But the reality is it's actually quite easy. The hardest part, it's actually the conversion. Most people think that they have a lead gen or lead problem, like a quality lead problem, but the reality is they really just have a follow-up problem. Because essentially, here's what happens. A lead comes into your world because maybe they download something, maybe they fill out a form, maybe they reply to an email, and then mentally you tell yourself, all right, cool, I got a brand new lead, I'm gonna get back to him as soon as possible. But then life essentially starts lifing. Like you start getting pulled in a bunch of different directions. Like the alerts go off on maybe your Slack channel or your G chat. Maybe the inbox ding notifies you off of your Apple Watch. Maybe there's a sales call that you have to make, or there's a issue you have to deal with for a client or maybe a patient. And let's not forget, maybe you need to work on your CRM. Listen, I already know most founders, many of their days are typically embodied in a bunch of tabs open on a web browser, or maybe a bunch of task switching, which effectively just mitigates any of the attention that needs to be had toward this prospective lead that is hopefully going to turn into a conversion, a new client, a new patient. So typically that follow-up slowly turns into I need to do it as opposed to I already did it. And now this becomes a very, very dangerous game to play because the survival of your follow-up process is 1000% reliant on your memory. So then maybe a few days go by and you finally remember like, oh crap, I needed to follow up with this lead. So what ends up happening is you send a message, you hear nothing. There's no reply. It's a dead conversation. And I already know what's replaying in many founders' minds. It's that number one, these leads suck. Number two, these people, they probably weren't serious at all. And number three, I'm getting ghosted. You see, I was actually dealing with this with one of my clients. His name's Kevin. Now, me and Kevin, we had figured out the lead gen component. He was posting regularly on social media. He was running ads. Leads were coming in on a regular basis. But to his words, when we would meet and kind of do just a temperature check of how things are going, he'd say that like, man, these leads aren't working. I'm getting ghosted. But typically when we'd meet just to check in to see how things are going, I would always be hearing, or I'd constantly be hearing like, man, these leads suck. No one's responding to me. So then I would ask him like, hey, so what's your follow-up process? And his process was essentially, when I have energy at the end of the day, or maybe it's something I'll get to the following morning. And here's the honest truth of this. When I dug a little deeper, I realized that he really didn't have a process. There was no system, there were no reminders, there was no sequence. It was basically, I'll remember to follow up when I remember. Now, here is the honest truth to what's going on. You're not feeling ghosted because your leads are disappearing. The reality is you're feeling ghosted because you ghosted your leads first. So check this out. I want you to think of leads through two different spectrums. The first one we're going to call intent. And we're going to put high intent up here and then low intent down here. And then the second one, let's talk time. And let's say that this is 5 minutes, maybe this is 10 minutes, maybe this is 15, this is 20. You kind of get the idea. Now, here's the thing. A couple years ago, a couple guys did a study of about 10,000 leads. And they really wanted to measure the level of intent and engagement for a lead after they opt into, a person's world, a business's world. And of the 10,000, they found something really, really remarkable. Uh, they found that when a lead enters into their world, typically what happens is that they start kind of up here at the highest level of intent. And right about that 5 minute mark, that intent level just immediately drops. And then from there, it slowly gets down at that 10 minute mark. And then from there, it just tapers off after. Now, I'm presenting this to you because it is extremely important that you understand the concept of speed to lead. Leads are of the highest probability of conversion the minute they opt into your world. So it behooves you to try to get in front of them as quickly as possible. By the way, if you're enjoying the information in this video so far, if you can please do me a quick favor, hit that like button, subscribe button, bell icon, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much in advance. So having said that, the strategy here is we need to surround our leads as quickly as possible. But the reality is, like most founders, we are really busy with the day-to-day. So the best and most immediate way to be able to surround these leads is to automate the process as much as possible. And here's essentially how we automate the process. Now, the basic idea here is that, let's say a lead opts into your world, all right? We're gonna call this starting point right here our nice little lead where they've effectively raised their hand. Now, we know for a fact that it's not enough to just see a hand go up and raise that will be able to convert them. We actually need to try to get into the world, have a conversation as quick as possible, because at the end of the day, conversions happen in conversations. So our playbook for this is real simple. We want to surround these leads, and we're going to surround them in 3 different places. The first place is going to be by phone. So a really bad picture of a phone. But the idea is that within the first, I'm going to say that this is a 14-day gap. We want to try to call this lead 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Because we know that if we call only once, then chances are they might be busy. But if we call up to 10 times on 10 random days within a 14-day period, eventually we're going to be able to get a hold of this lead or this prospect. Now, in addition to that, what we're also going to do is we also got to text message them, because at the end of the day, text messaging is probably by far one of the low-key easiest ways to book appointments. Now, I'll be honest, I hate getting text message marketing blasts. So we want to stagger this out. First one obviously is speed to lead. Let's get that text message fired out within the first 5 minutes. But after that first 5 minutes, then the next step is maybe the following day, then the following day after that. And then we'll wait a couple days, maybe like 3 days, another text message, and then wait another 3 days, another text message. And that's about it. We don't want to inundate them too much with text messages, but if they see text messages and phone calls with your caller ID name on it, it increases the probability of them actually picking up the phone or maybe replying to a text message. But we got to layer on the leverage from there. So the last piece of this is email. And the way that we want to do it with email is a little bit more strategic. We want to drip immediate email within that first 5 minutes. But then after that, we want to do at least another 7 emails. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 8 emails total within 14 days. And the purposes of those emails, well, it's simple. It's to position you as the authority, all the while handling objections for your ideal clients or your ideal prospects. At the end of the day, there is some inkling of pain that is keeping them up at night. So your job is to extract that information and talk about how you would solve that particular pain point in your own words. And then we're going to do this via email. Because if we can articulate their pain points and problems and solutions better than they can, well, hey, guess what? It immediately positions us as the authority. And if they're getting phone calls, emails, and text messages from us within the first 14 days of them opting into our world, it increases the probability of actually getting that conversation going and eventually turning that potential prospect into a client. So to quickly recap, you're not getting ghosted. Your leads are ghosting you. Speed to lead is a thing, and you need to get in front of your leads every which way in their ecosystem as quickly as possible. And if you really enjoyed this video right here, then I'm sure you're going to want to know about our entire process to actually creating predictable clients, essentially at least a client a month on a regular basis. And if you're interested in understanding how we do that, then I highly recommend that you check out this video right here.